Hello guys, this is me again with the Behemoth specialization video. Alright, so basically what this is an archetype that is a tank, a melee tank. It's a pretty good tank, by the way. You have Constitution, it's your primary super stat, which is gives you health, strength, increases your damage and all that stuff, and recovery increases how much energy you have at default. So we go here at the Constitution section of the specialization tree. You start off with unyielding, fuel my fire, tough, and resilient. I went 2 points with unyielding because your Constitution now increases your hold resistance, which is nice because if you look here, you only get hold resistance if you have ego. Now you don't use ego as a behemoth because ego is usually for ranged characters because it increases range damage. So now your Constitution increases your hold resistance, and you want that as a tank. You want to be resistant to holds and things so you don't get locked out. And Fuel My Fire, taking damage grants you 2% of your max energy. It sounds like it would be nice, but Defiance already gives you energy back when you get attacked. And since you're in Protector role, if you shield, you should get energy back anyway, or more energy than what you would normally. So you shouldn't really be that starved of energy. If you are, I would recommend it, but usually you shouldn't be. So I put my 3 points in Tough, which is your secondary super stats now provide an additional 1.5 maximum health points. So my strength and my recovery gives me more health, which is nice because as a tank, the more health the better. And the last one is Resilient. Your Constitution now increases your knock resistance. This might sound cool, and it kinda is, but since you have a lot of strength, and strength itself naturally gives you knock resistance, you don't want to be redundant, so I didn't opt for that. Next one we have Armored, which is increases the amount of defense you receive from items by 20%. That's pretty nice. You always want defense because it increases your damage resistance. Next you have Adrenaline Rush. Whenever one of your attacks critically hits, you are healed for 1% of your max health. This is pretty cool, but for a pure tank like I'm trying to build right now, I didn't go for it because you're not going to have that much crit. But if you want to solo and not always be in a group all the time, if you want to do some solo stuff, I would recommend getting Adrenaline Rush because the Behemoth has no heals. So you get this, and you can put crit with your gear. Okay, you don't really want to stack with dexterity because there is a whole lot of crit gear that you can get. I don't really think I have any on my person at the moment, but there is some, so you can use that instead of trying to stack dexterity. Then you have Quick Healing, which is your secondary super stat, increase your health regeneration. It's not really that amazing of a heal. It really isn't, kind of like with the Devastator in the last video. It's not that great, but a little bit is better than nothing. And I didn't really like Deflection too much because you don't stack dexterity with a Behemoth. Next tier we have the Protector. You start off with Bulwark, which is increases your maximum health by 10% when not in the hybrid role. That is amazing because we are in the Protector role, so we have 10% more health than what we naturally would have. So more health is always great. And we have Unrelenting. Snares no longer reduce your movement speed, and your run speed is increased by 20%. It doesn't apply to travel powers. This is awesome as well because snares no longer reduce your movement speed, so it doesn't matter what happens to you, you can always run, and you run 20% faster, so you get places a lot quicker on your toes. That's nice. Beacon of Hope, because you only have 1 point left when you fill these two out, so I went with Fortified Gear for the more defense. Beacon of Hope isn't bad. You can get like 3% extra heals, which is okay, but I opted for the defense myself. I mean, you can get this if you really want it, but I went with more defense, and you'll see later on why. Next here we have Resolute. Whenever you are knocked or held, you gain 6% of your maximum health over the next 5 seconds. It's depending on how much health you have. If you have like 10,000-12,000, you get like 600-700 health every 5 seconds. The math, I'm probably totally incorrect, but it feels good, so that's what I'm going with. Because even though you have a lot of knock and hold resistance, you still get knocked and held anyway, just not as much. So when that does happen, it's good to get some heal with that. And then you have defensive expertise. Your active defense powers benefit from additional 7% power recharge reduction. Again, like in the last video, if you want to reduce your cooldowns, you can use it with gear instead. Like you see this heroic helmet of utility, I have cooldown reduction, cost discount, and all that cool stuff. So I'd recommend getting through gear instead of spending an actual specialization point with it. Next one, we have exhausting strikes. Your energy builder attacks now reduce your primary target damage. Yeah, I guess it's okay. I'm not really into it that much. Your energy builder is, clobber, so yeah, you're really not gonna beat anybody up with that so much. And you have debilitating challenge. Your cripple challenge now also lowers the damage resistance of your targets by 4%. This is nice because when you're tanking, everybody benefits from the 4%, not just you, as opposed to exhausting strikes where only you benefit. Because if you're tanking, it's your primary target, so they're hitting you, they're not hitting anybody else, and only reduces it by like 5%, I think 10% max. Next we have elusive on the warden tree here. Increases your resistance to AoE attacks by 20%. That's pretty nice. You always want AoE resistance. And the next one, you have ruthless, slaughter, and fortifying gear. Yeah, 3 points left. You don't really need that much critical severity since you're not really critting all the time. And so you have 3 points. You can either pick slaughter or fortified gear. I went with fortified gear for the more defense or more damage resistance. If you're soloing, if you're doing that crit build where you get like crit and you get healed from crits, you want to increase the critical strike chance of your melee combo attacks, even though that would only be a defensive combo. You can, pop them with that and get some more crits that way, get some more heals. But as a tanking role, as a grouping role, I would get fortified gear. And this is the reason why you get the best defense, and that is you gain 100% of your defense as offense. So you see I have 167.5 damage resistance. Oh no I don't. Defense, which is a 39% damage resistance, and all that goes to offense. So that's pretty awesome. You have more damage, and that's nice. A lot better than upper hand, which is increases the melee damage you deal to targets affected by disorient, bleed, shredded, That's okay, but it only increases melee damage you deal to targets, not by everybody else. So, and since you're a tank, you shouldn't really be doing that much damage. I mean, you do okay, that's kind of stupid. You do damage, but only you are going to benefit from it, and it's only like 6% max. And if you're soloing, I guess it's not really that great anyway, because you're not going to be doing all those types of damage soloing. So I opted not to go that route. So you have 2 points left. Once you get the best defense, you have reactive strikes and tenacious. Now, reactive strikes isn't that amazing. Basically, single target attacks made against you have a 10% chance to deal 10% of that damage back to the attacker. It's a 10% chance of it happening, and then once it does happen, it's only a 10% damage back. So it has to be a really significant hit onto you for you to do an actual reasonable damage. Usually the damage done to you isn't going to be that much due to all the defense you have and you're a tank and all that stuff, so the damage is really weenie. You don't want to take it. It's really not that awesome. So instead you want to get tenacious. Whenever you get taken damage, you gain 10 offense. Again, it increases your damage by a little bit. Let's see, 10 offense, yeah, stacks up to 5 times. It's 50 offense, so that's pretty good. So then, last but not least, you have your mastery. I went with Constitution Mastery. You gain 20 Constitution and defense. Defense goes for the offense, and Constitution helps with my hold resistance and gives me more health. And I get 10% more health with this, so it's pretty nice. The next one is Protector Mastery. Whenever a damaging attack brings you below 30% health, the recharge time of your active defense power is reset. It can only happen once every 60 seconds, which is your Unbreakable, which absorbs up to like 3,000 damage, roughly. You click on that. If you get low on health, if you find yourself getting low on health a lot and you like die a lot, you don't do that great, then I would suggest getting this, because you can pop this a lot and it will help you. Whereas the third one, Ward Mastery, increases the damage of your combo powers by 10%. And whenever you finish a combo, you gain a stack of grit. Grit increases your damage resistance by 3%. Now, it's probably the weakest one here, because the only combo power you have is defensive combo. And I don't think you're going to be knocking anybody's teeth out with defensive combo. So, to increase its damage isn't really that significant. And out of all these, I would pick Constitution because you benefit more from it. So that is the build I have. I did have help with it, like the last video. I don't do it by myself. I have a friend who helps me make these lovely builds so I can show to all you lovely people. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to cut to the video to a character selection screen or somewhere like that. I'll have you vote on which archetype you want me to do next, because I don't know what you guys want to see. I was thinking maybe a free archetype still, because I think free archetypes would be more popular than paid ones. But yeah, I'm going to cut the video real quick and see you in a few seconds. Alright, hello. So selections are, we have the Inferno, which I get a lot of questions on how well it performs and everything, so I'm assuming this is a popular one, along with the Soldier, which I see a whole lot of people running around as a Soldier, and the Blade. I see a lot of people asking questions about the Blade. So between the Inferno, which is this, the Soldier, and the Blade, which archetype would you like to see next? Or if you really want to see one that I didn't mention, just let me know and I'll decide from there. Thanks for watching, and see you next time, and goodbye.